Countries with low inflation in Latin America.
Number 10. El Salvador. El Salvador has one of the lowest rates of inflation in Latin America. This is due to the El Salvadoran government's fiscal policies, which prioritize fiscal discipline and financial stability. The government has taken steps to reduce the country's fiscal deficit, while also controlling the money supply to keep inflation in check. Additionally, the country's economic growth has been driven largely by private sector investment, which has helped to increase the supply of goods and services and thereby reduce prices. As a result, El Salvador has seen an average inflation rate of less than 2% since 2017. This low rate of inflation has allowed the Salvadoran economy to remain stable and relatively prosperous, even during times of global economic uncertainty. Number 9. Guatemala. Guatemala is a country in Central America with one of the lowest inflation rates in Latin America. According to the World Bank, Guatemala's inflation rate has been below 3.5% since 2015. This is mainly due to the country's strong macroeconomic policies, such as fiscal consolidation and prudent monetary policy. The Central Bank of Guatemala has also adopted a flexible exchange rate regime and has maintained relatively low interest rates. Furthermore, Guatemala has implemented several reforms to its financial sector, including strengthening prudential regulations, further improving the efficiency of the payment system, and liberalizing foreign exchange operations, all of which have helped to keep inflation low. Additionally, the country's economic growth, while modest, is expected to remain above 3.5% in the foreseeable future, helping to promote price stability and curb inflationary pressures. Number 8. Belize. Belize, located on the eastern coast of Central America, is one of the few countries in Latin America with low inflation. Despite facing financial instability in the past, Belize has implemented sound economic policies to contain its inflation rate. Subsidies and fiscal transfers to keep essential items affordable have been instrumental in curbing the country's inflation. Additionally, the Central Bank of Belize has implemented a number of measures to ensure price stability, such as monetary policy coordination, market transparency, and fiscal discipline. The country's government has also implemented various financial reforms to improve the overall business climate. In 2019, Belize's inflation rate was just 1.6%, a historically low level for the country. This low inflation rate has helped to maintain economic stability, which has in turn contributed to the country's growth and development. Number 7. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is one of the countries in Latin America with the lowest inflation rate. In 2019, it had an average inflation rate of 0.83%, making it one of the lowest in the region. This low rate of inflation has been attributed to the country's relatively strong economic performance over the past decade, largely due to its abundant energy resources and thriving energy sector. As a result of its strong economic performance and well-managed economy, Trinidad and Tobago has seen high levels of foreign investment and strong growth in its gross domestic product, GDP. This has allowed the country to maintain low levels of inflation and contributed to its overall economic stability. Number 6. Bahamas. The Bahamas is renowned for its low inflation rate and has consistently held this status for the past several years. The country's inflation rate has averaged around 2% since 2014, and the government has implemented a number of economic policies to ensure that the rate remains low. These include an inflation targeting framework, a fiscal consolidation program, a flexible exchange rate regime, and a low interest rate policy. The Bahamas also has a low population density, with few urbanized areas, which has helped to reduce the cost of living. This, coupled with a booming tourism industry, has further helped to keep inflation low. Number 5. Aruba. Aruba is a small island nation located in the Caribbean Sea, and it is known for having a low inflation rate. The inflation rate in Aruba was just 1.6% in 2020, even during the economic downturn caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The country is known for its strong fiscal policy and its commitment to economic stability. Aruba's strong fiscal policy includes its commitment to maintaining a balanced budget and exercising fiscal discipline, which helps keep its inflation rate low. Besides that, the island nation also has a number of other economic advantages, such as low taxes and the use of the US dollar as its official currency. This low inflation rate has helped Aruba remain competitive in the global marketplace and has become a popular destination for tourists and investors alike. Number 4. Ecuador. Ecuador is one of the countries in Latin America with the lowest inflation rate, averaging around 1.2% in 2019. This is due to a number of factors, including the country's fiscal discipline, the adoption of the US dollar as its official currency, and the implementation of stringent monetary policies by the Central Bank of Ecuador. Since adopting the US dollar in 2000, Ecuador has implemented a strict monetary policy that has been successful in keeping inflation low and stable. This has helped to create a more conducive environment for economic growth, investment, and job creation. Additionally, the country has implemented measures to reduce public spending, decrease its fiscal deficit, and increase efficiency in the public sector, all of which have contributed to a more stable macroeconomic environment. Number 3. Panama. Panama is an exceptional example of low inflation in Latin America. Inflation in Panama has remained in the single digits since 2013 and has remained relatively stable since then. Inflation in the country has remained stable due to a combination of fiscal responsibility and prudent economic policies. The Panamanian government has implemented several measures to keep inflation low, such as a tight fiscal policy, a managed exchange rate system, and the promotion of a more competitive financial sector. Furthermore, the government has sought to reduce its dependence on foreign funding and strengthen financial stability in the country. The result has been a prosperous economy, low inflation, and low levels of public debt. Number 2. Grenada. Grenada is one of the countries in Latin America that has managed to maintain a low inflation rate. The country's inflation rate has remained at around 2% since 2018, significantly lower than the average inflation rate for Latin American countries, which is around 5%. This low inflation rate is due to Grenada's fiscal prudence, including prudent fiscal management and responsible government policies that have kept public spending in check and kept prices down. Furthermore, the country has seen steady and healthy economic growth, which has also helped to keep inflation low. Additionally, Grenada's strong political stability and internal security have been important factors in keeping inflation low.
Number 1. Bolivia. Bolivia has had one of the lowest rates of inflation in Latin America over the past decade. The country's inflation rate has stayed below 4.5% since 2010, and the World Bank estimates that it will remain that low for the foreseeable future. This low rate of inflation has been aided by the Bolivian government's fiscal and monetary policies, which are designed to ensure price stability in the country. The government also maintains low levels of government spending and reduces the public sector's budget deficit. As a result of these policies, Bolivia has seen strong economic growth over the past decade, with an average growth rate of 4.2% since 2010. This has enabled the country to reduce poverty levels and improve quality of life for its citizens. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about the countries with low inflation in Latin America, make sure you check out our website for a detailed list. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and leave us a comment to let us know what other curiosities around the world you'd like us to cover. See you soon!